Welcome to Fish North Georgia's the Guide. Here's Sammy Benitez.
Hey guys, I'm Sammy Benitez with Fish North Georgia's the Guide, and I want to talk to you a little bit about Hickory Log Creek Reservoir up in Canton, Georgia. So I recently took a trip out there around June 26th. I fished the later half of the day. I launched around 4:30, and the bite was tough. I mean, we are full summer patterns. If you've never been to Hickory Log, this is a largemouth fishery as far as bass is concerned. So that's kind of what you're targeting there. And I kind of break this lake into three different sections. There's the first third, which is from the boat ramp all the way to the island. It's typically 30 foot max, more or less. It's a little dirtier, typically 2 to 4 foot visibility. And there's a lot of grass if you want to fish grass and you know how to fish grass. Beyond that island, though, it starts turning more into a highland type reservoir. The water gets a lot clearer the closer you get to the dam. You can see as much as 12 foot of visibility at times out there. And the water temperatures at this particular day were around 81, 82 degrees at the later half of the day. So there's the highland reservoir, and then the final part is in the back. There's a culvert, and if you go through there, the water typically gets a lot more stained, and there's lily pads all around the bank. So however you want to get there and fish, you got to make a plan. You got to decide where you're going to go and how you're going to target these fish. So every time I go out, it's one of those three. I try and find a few patterns I want to target for that specific area I want to fish and go for it. So this particular day I hit the highland reservoir type area, and I was a struggle. I fish there often, and we're full summer pattern, like I said. It was tough. I tried a lot of main lake points and stuff. I went into a few coves. I caught nothing. Finally, closer to the dam, main lake point, I started fishing a drop shot, and I caught a few fish, specifically on around 10 to 15 foot depth, where it dropped off to significantly deeper water. So that was a key for me. The drop shot, 10 to 15 foot of water, close to big drop-offs, main lake points. Besides that, if you've ever fished there, the last 2 hours of night since May and until who knows when, you're going to see these blow-ups in the middle of the main lake channels around the dam. You don't need a fish finder to find it. You're just going to see it. You're going to know. And so a lot of times I'll target these fish with a few techniques. So there's two approaches you can take, and the water is very clear, so just that's important for how you're going to fish this. You either have to fish a hard bait super fast and get a reaction strike, or you got to fish it super finesse with something very soft, very slow. So a lot of times my go-to is throwing a Megabass 110 plus 1, and I will, as soon as I see a blow up, I'll cast it into it, and I'll reel as fast as I can, jerking as much as I can. I'll give it a little pause and continue that. A lot of times, if you're going to get a bite, those fish are chasing right behind it. As soon as that bait pauses, they're going to come in and smash it. And that's part of the beauty of the Megabass 110 jerk bait. Those hooks are razor sharp. As soon as those fish run into it, they're hooked. You've got it. Another approach could be a square bill. Same technique, super fast, pause, and keep going. Like I said, the water's super clear, so you cannot give them a good look at your bait. It's got to be your reaction. If you do it too slow, they're going to come up to it, they're going to see it, and they're going to go away. The other technique, which I started trying just recently, is throwing just a weightless wacky rig Senko. In particular, I still have my bed fishing set up on deck, so I've got a white Senko. So as soon as I see a blow up, I just cast it out there and let it just start falling. Almost without a doubt, almost every time a fish will come up and scoop it. It may take 30 seconds of a Senko falling in 100 foot of water, but something's going to come and grab it almost every time. As soon as you feel a little tick on your line, you just reel in and you got that hook set and you've got them. What I will say though is I'll include here a picture of the bait fish. So I never knew exactly the size of these bait fish that they were chasing. over here in the main lake channels, and there's bigger bait fish in here, but this in particular, they're micro. So if you've got any crappie setups, crappie jigs with a shad-like color and profile, without a doubt, I'm almost confident that if you cast this into any of these blow-ups, you're going to get hooked up every time. But really, that pattern continues probably for another month or two, I would say, at the last 2 hours of sunlight. Besides that, throwing a buzzbait on the way back to the ramp in low light conditions, you're going to catch fish off of main lake points. That's what I would focus on, or structure. I had a good one hooked up, probably 2 to 3 pounder, blew up right next to the boat. Unfortunately, it got the bend out of my rod, and it got off. But I caught several fish on the buzzbait as well. On a day I thought I was about to be skunked, you know. I ended up with probably close to 10 fish in the boat in a 2-hour window. So hickory log can be tough, but it can be super fun, and it takes some learning. It's a little different than a lot of the lakes in the area, and every lake has its own thing, you know. So the more time you put into it, the more fish you're going to get out of it, typically. So I encourage you to try it, check it out. If you got any questions, leave a comment down below. Check the playlist they have here on Fish North Georgia's The Guide. And if you want to see some more content, I make some videos on my own channel called Sammy Benitez. I do a little bit of everything, but fishing is the main thing I do. So if you want to check it out, go for it. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a good one. Catch some big fish. Peace.
Thanks for watching The Guide here at Fish North Georgia. Our mission is to build a community of anglers to give you the best and latest information to make your day on the water more successful. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, click the bell so you'll be notified of any future content. Make sure you check us out at fishnorthgeorgia.com, where we carry a large variety of bait manufacturers from here in the North Georgia area. So we appreciate you being part of our community, and we'll see you soon.